If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Holographist coach, Christine McIver.
Hello, everyone. Yes, welcome to my show tonight. We're doing something that's near and dear to my heart, which is talking about business. And I'm really happy that you're here. And if you're having a hard time, if you're struggling, if you're kind of wondering, what do I do now? I really do hope that this show will contribute to you. So before we get into the show, I do want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am the CEO of Inspired Choices Network. I have had the pleasure of being in radio for more than 11 years and have been producing. I'm in my 8th year, I think it is, 7th year. I think it's the 8th year. I'm in my 8th year of producing, and the Inspired Choices Network is in its 4th year. So it's 4 years old. And we're just really having so much fun over here and loving all of the hosts and all of the creations and the people that are coming to ask questions and really receive from these amazing creations. So I work with people to amplify their message out into the world, and I do that through this network. And I also do this one-on-one with business owners. I work with them to really find what it is that they desire and to have them really focus in on that and make that happen very, very quickly, showing them lots of tips and tricks on social media and how they can really have their businesses expand and most certainly expand virtually. And finally, I love working with individuals or couples and working with them around areas of relationship, around areas of self-confidence, around areas of just really finding that direction on what is true for them and helping them to hone in on creating the life that they're really yearning for. So if you'd like to ask me any questions, please feel free to email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. And you can find me all over the internet. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter. Yeah, I get around. What can I tell you? I get around. So tonight we are talking about now what do I do with my business. Times, they are definitely a changin'. And now what do I do? We have so many questions. They're everywhere with very little certainty at hand. Where are you looking when you are creating, expanding, and recalibrating your business? Are you at the effect of this reality? And, you know, some of you listeners might get really mad at me and say some things like, well, of course we are. Like, why wouldn't we be at the effect of this reality? Well, maybe and maybe not. So if you're listening and you have a different point of view, I would love to hear from you. I'd love for you to call in. You can call in the U.S., 815-880-8255. You can call in to Canada, 613-800-8736. You can Skype us at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. So here's some questions that I really want to put in front of people. And you know what? If this show is triggering you, if this show is making you want to tell me to go to hell or run away, I want to invite you to lean in. Because usually when we're triggered, there's something here for us. So I'd love everyone, just take a breath, drop your barriers, be open, and take from this show whatever speaks to you and leave the rest. Okay? So just take a breath. So my first question to you is, when you first got the idea to do your business, were you sitting around with other people brainstorming? Did somebody come up and ask you to start the business? Or did you kind of get an aha moment, or you saw somebody else doing something similar and you went, oh my gosh, I could totally do that, or that would be so much fun to do that? Or did you just get an inspired thought about creating a product or a service? Or were you doing, maybe you had a hobby and then somebody said, you could be making money at this. What is it that is true for you? Were you looking outside of you, or were you looking within you when your idea for your business started to blossom? All right, that's the first step. The second step to look at and to really question is, do you continue to look within when it comes to your business? Or were you one of those millions and millions of people out there who the moment you hung up your shingle and other people knew that you were in your own business, did you start looking at their responses? Did you start looking at their points of view around your business, how you're doing it, what you are, what you aren't doing, the prices, the services, the product, how you talk about it? Did you start looking outside of you? Yeah, Karen's in the chat room and she says, I was totally looking outside of me. Looking within is a new behavior. Good for you, Karen. The really wild thing is we get these inspirations within ourselves. And, I can remember when I started to think about getting in doing my own business, and I got so excited. I was so excited. It was just jumping up and down. And it was definitely, I was totally in alignment with myself. And you're in alignment with yourself when you're happy, when you're joyful, when you have this excitement that's coming through. And of course there's more to it than that, but those are the biggest signals that start to come through, is the joy and excitement within. And then we start to get out the ruler and we start to measure it. We start to measure if it's correct. We start to look at measuring it and comparing it to somebody else's business, somebody else's price points, the colors of their logo. We go check out everybody else's website. Doing websites is something that I've done in the past quite a bit. And when I've worked with people, I will say to them, so tell me what you're looking for. Well, I really like this person's website and this person's website and this person's website. And I'm like, okay. So it's really, really funny is we are looking outside of ourselves again and again and again to see what other people are doing in relation to our own and into our own business, instead of actually going, okay, let me sit for a minute and let me start to ask some questions. Let me ask some questions about what would be fun. What do I imagine? What do I imagine that would be wonderful for me to work with, and what would be fun for me to put out into the world? Do you actually sit and ask some questions about what turns you on and lights you up? Or do you actually jump on the computer and start looking at what everybody else has created? That's one of the biggest don'ts. Don't do that you can do with your business, because you start to go into that big judgment piece and that big comparing piece. And it's so normal, and I've done it, absolutely. And here's what happens when you're doing that. You start to disconnect from your creation. You start to disconnect from your business, and you start to disconnect from your creativity. So you want to get in touch with what's true for you and what's true for your business. Now, your business is an entity. It has an energy all of its own, right? And so when you are looking at your business and you're looking outside and you're trying to see where it fits in, you may be missing some of the most amazing pieces of what your business could actually contribute to you. Because what if you, yes, you, what if you were actually, and your business are actually going to bring something else to the world that's never been here before? And if you try to fit in the box of the way everybody else does it, right? How are you going to bring that creation forward? So if you've not ever started a business before, or if you do have a business now, these are some really important pieces that I want you to get reconnected with. All right? Karen in the chat room says, what would be fun to put out in the world? Totally not what my father would have approved of doing. Fun has no value and not a job. Isn't that so interesting, Karen? The things that we were taught and told and really pushed into doing it the same way. Well, my friends, you are listening to this show. It's March the 25th, 2020, and we are right in the middle of one of the biggest changes that have ever happened here on planet Earth, the pandemic of 2020. And I'm telling you right now that if you start to get some big ahas and some excitement going on inside of you, please know you are in alignment. You are in alignment, and this is the time to follow what is fun. And thank you to all of the people that came before us that showed us what they knew and what worked for them. But this is a new time, my friends. We are in a new wave of doing and being. And now you have to go within, and you've got to connect with what is true for you. You and your business deserve to be connected totally and completely. So my question to you now is, if you did go internally initially when the business came to you, all right, would you be willing to go there now that things have changed in the world? All right? Would you be willing to connect with your business on an energetic level and ask it questions and just, go sit somewhere in a quiet space by yourself. Take a pad of paper and a pen, pencil, whatever it is, coloring markers, anything, and sit and ask some questions and allow yourself to just write down what comes to you. Just start writing it down. I think that's called free writing, and you just keep writing and writing and writing until you see what comes through. Other people love to paint pictures or draw pictures and just allow the energy to shift and move as you ask the question. If your business is desiring to still continue in this time and space, your business will have your back for sure. You've got to be willing to connect to your business. So many people are talking about the uncertainty. We don't have certainty. Things are so uncertain right now. And, I kept hearing this. I'm like, wait a second. When did we actually have certainty? When did you have certainty in your life, in your relationships, in your health, in your business? When have you ever had certainty? Unless you have a crystal ball and you can see it laid out in front of you, I will challenge anyone that you may be able to follow your knowing, but I'll tell you something. I know some of the most amazing people that have knowing. They can't see years and years in advance. Not clearly. Because your choices can impact that. The choices you may get a hit, or you may get an awareness or a knowing from someone else, and you then make a choice that changes whatever it is that they shared with you. You have choice. That's the one thing that every single solitary person has, is you have choice. And as you make your choices, your so-called certainty that you've received from someone or even from yourself can change. So you need to keep checking in. And other people can support and guide you, but your connection to your business is stronger than anybody else's. And you know that's true because your business came through you. Your business wanted to be connected to you. This is so important for you to get this. And that has not changed. Even now that we have this pandemic going on, your business is still connected to you. And if you are one of the conscious leaders that I've been calling out to for the last few days, please know your time is now. And while you may not see evidence of business and financials coming forward, please know that your time is now. We require you now. Your business may morph into something different, may evolve, may grow. It may shift and change, but you as a conscious leader are required now more than ever. And your business absolutely has your back. And I just love it. Magnetic Marga is in the chat room. Welcome. And she's laughing, saying, certainty never had certainty. It certainly never had certainty. It's so true. We have never had certainty. Here's the one certainty you have. That if you will have your own back and you will choose every day to take another step, you can be certain that you will still be able to move forward. And this is a very, very big message I want you to get. You are the most important component, regardless of what is going on in the world. You are the very most important component in your business. And it's time for you to really reconnect to your business. All right, time is going fast. I've got a lot more to share with you. We're up for our first commercial. So you are listening to myself, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned, my friends.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm so happy you're with me tonight. We are talking about now, what do I do with my business? Well, first of all, number one is connect with your business. Reconnect with your business. Have a sit down. Have a powwow. Maybe meditate with your business. How often do you actually check in with your business and talk to your business? Yeah, it's crazy, and it actually works. Follow your gut. Follow your knowing. If you're in business, you followed it at one time. Why don't you try that again? All right. The next thing I want to know is, so many people are saying we don't have any choices. We don't have a choice. We have to do this. We don't have a choice. We'd have to do that. Is it really true that you don't have choices? I want you to ask yourself that question. And when it comes to your business, for sure, do I not have choices? Or what choices do I have? The really, really wonderful thing to come to know is that you always, always, always have choices. Now, at this time and space, yes, things are intense. We have to take actions in different ways than we have before in order to keep ourselves safe, keep the people around us safe, and to move through this challenge with more ease than maybe some other countries have. And to support each other in different ways. So yes, we have to take action. Some of our countries are shutting the doors and saying, nope, we can't do this, we can't do that. Okay, but does that mean you don't have a choice with your business? No, it doesn't mean that. Even if you're not an essential service. What if you started to talk to your business, if you're not able to do your business anymore? What if you started to talk to your business and you started to ask your business, is there something we could be doing differently? Is there a way that we can be doing our business online? Is there a service out there that we could be providing that other people are looking for? You know, what just popped into my mind is, let's say you're somebody that you've been in business for many, many years, and there are new people going into your area of expertise, starting their own business. What if you started to offer some mentoring to those people online? And if you don't know how to deal with working online, there are lots of business coaches out there, including myself, that would be more than happy to show you how quick and easy you can do it. So who out there maybe you could mentor? I really love what I'm seeing with some of the really big companies, such as the automobile companies. They're stopping making automobiles, and they've started to make ventilators. Like, how friggin' cool is that? How friggin' cool is that? And what did they do? They asked, what can we do? What can we do? Begin to be willing to look at your business in a new perspective. Be willing to change what you've been doing in order to create something that you're desiring. It's so, so important that you are looking at this with new eyes. And if you are receiving some ideas and, it would be helpful for you to talk those ideas out. Like, whenever I get an idea, I get so excited and I start to think about it and I start to write some ideas down, and then I reach out to someone that I feel very confident with, a confidential coach, friend, and I say, hey, tell me what you think of this. And I share my ideas because I'm one of those people. I need to talk things out, all right? Some other people they need to go within for a really long time, long being relative to whatever's going on for you, but go within and really allow that to rise for them. So do what works for you, but know that there are so many people out there right now that are putting their hands up and saying, hey, I'm over here if you're looking for some support. I'm over here. There are so many amazing people that have hosts here on the Inspired Choices Network that if you are looking for some guidance, go on there and reach out to whoever pops for you. One of those hosts, she's a past host actually, she just posted that she's offering coaching, walking coaching. How cool is that, right? While she's on her walks, and she's an avid walker, she's going to be giving out half-hour sessions, and if people are in financial need, that she's going to be doing it pro bono. Like, talk about creativity. Now, I want you to also look at your business and know that the creativity that you've probably tapped into with your business, you haven't even come close to maxing out on. If you're giving up on your business, if you've given up based solely on money, then your business, like a plant, will shrivel up and die. Think of your business as a plant, and when you are actually connecting with your business and you're talking to your business, it is like water and sunshine is to a plant. This allows your business to speak to you and through you as you start to get into a creative zone. Your business can't actually contribute if you're not willing to connect with it, right? If you're worrying and you're out there looking at everything that's going on and you're allowing that to drive your energy each day, there is no way you are going to hear what your business is trying to say to you. Now more than ever, my friends, while the noise is loud, it's time, if you want your business to continue, for you to go within and communicate with your business. Allow it to contribute to you. Here's another really big thing that, as somebody that's in their own business, and yeah, I've had lots and lots of challenges around money in my life. So I am not saying this from a space of sitting on millions and millions of dollars. I want you to know that there is no less money in the world today than there was yesterday, last month, or last year when this virus began to come forth. There is no less money in the world. The money didn't just burn up and vanish. It didn't. There is still plenty of money. I've got to smile because that was reinforced to me from, I live in Canada, and our Prime Minister came forth, and he has talked about, the very first video that I saw him talking about supporting people, he said that we will have support mechanisms in place so that people won't, have to put themselves in harm's way from a health perspective in order to pay their rent or their mortgage or feed their family or take care of their children or the elderly. And I'm like, wow, I just got this amazing, surge of pride that came forward. And I'm like, that's amazing. I wonder what that's going to look like. And just today, actually, my daughter called me and she said that they are actually, if you are somebody that does not qualify for employment insurance, and I'm not sure what it's called in all the other countries, but if you're self-employed, you don't qualify for EI, employment insurance. And they have just put something in place that for 4 months, self-employed people will be able to apply to receive, I believe it is $2,000 a month for 4 months. Now, that's going to be millions, if not billions of dollars, my friends. How amazing is that the universe just stepped forward to show us that there is plenty of money in the world. There is plenty, plenty, plenty of money in the world. So everywhere that you're buying the lie that suddenly things are going to dry up for you, dry up for your business, that you're not going to have customers, would you be willing to take 10 steps back from that and turn to your right and have a different perspective? Would you be willing to start asking some questions and to see what maybe is trying to come through you, to contribute to you? You see, here's what I know. The universe desires to contribute to you. The universe desires for you to be happy and lays out so many opportunities for us to be happy, but we have our blinders on. We have our blinders on because we have made decisions what will happen, what's good, what's not good. We have decided that this is the way it is, and that is a crock of shit. You got to give that up if you're going to start to move forward with your business in a new way. All right, we are up to our second commercial break. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices radio show on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be back right after this break. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back or welcome forward. Yes, we are talking tonight about business, one of my most favorite topics to talk about. If you don't know this, when I was a little girl, I didn't really play with dolls because I had so many nieces and nephews. I was an aunt when I was 8 years old. And so I didn't really play with dolls. And when they weren't around, I used to play business. I would go into my dad's office and I would sit at his desk with his adding machine and his pens, and then I would walk around with his briefcase. I always have loved business, and I feel so privileged that I get to talk to other people about doing business because it's definitely something that turns me on and lights me up. So you see, I follow that, and it contributes to me, which is so much fun. So we've got some amazing comments in the chat room. Karen just said, my business just gave me a class to offer online tonight. This was not a class I had ever thought of offering that way before. How cool is that? Magnetic Marga says, new eyes, the eyes of the highest expression of my offerings and gifts. I'd love to know more about that. And then Karen says, love that you said a confidential person to talk to. There are too many naysayers. Talk to someone you can trust and has your highest interest at heart. Exactly. And you know what? I would also add to that, Karen, and everyone listening, that if you're speaking with someone who has a strong reputation, that they've been around, they've been in business for a number of years, and they don't have an invested interest in your choices, that will help you to have a very neutral discussion to help guide you. When you have these conversations with our loved ones, with our parents, with our children, our spouses, a lot of the times it can really kind of get ugly and send you in a direction that's truly not following what works for you. And then Karen has this question. I love this question. What would you suggest for those of us that may go to, but everyone is doing this for free online? You're right. Many, many people are doing many, many free things online. Isn't that awesome? And she goes on to say this is where her son went immediately when she suggested he do music lessons online. Yeah. You know what? I've been in business now since 2008. And when I wanted to go into my own business and at that time, I was going to do HR consulting and life coaching. And guess what people said to me? Yeah, you sure? Because there's lots of people doing that now. And guess what? I'm still in business. The thing of it is, and this is a big piece to really, really recognize, is, first of all, there are close to 8 billion people on the planet, okay? And there are people that are looking for specific services, specific services and products, all right? And there are lots and lots of people that do the same service, the same product. But there is something unique that comes with each person that does that specific service or product. And that is their own energetic contribution. All right? You can have people who are, make cars. They could even sell the same type of car, right? But the way that person shows up energetically, the integrity of that person, the way that individual can educate, inform, guide, and support their customers can be very, very different. There are going to be people out there that are going to choose another radio station to work with instead of this amazing freaking radio station, the Inspired Choices Network. And I'll tell you something, my friends, when I first started and people would say no to me and they would go to somebody else, it would flip me out. It really would flip me out, and then I would go down the boo-hoo channel, right? And today I know that what I have to offer is so phenomenal, and my energy, when I'm in alignment with me and I am truly speaking from my source, I know when I show up with my hosts or prospect hosts, I know that they are going to see the truth of who I am. And when they do, it will either match with them or it won't match with them. So actually asking, yes, what is my unique energetic contribution is great, but you don't even have to go there. Start showing up with the knowing that there are people that are looking for your unique energetic contribution. There are people that are looking for the way that you do things. There are people looking for your personality type. There are people looking for the way that you teach. There are people that are looking for you locally. There are people that are looking for you globally. There are people out there that will match with you, that will not match with anyone else. And when you show up with that knowing, they can begin to find you. There are so many examples of this to be true, and I just want to name off a few so that you really get this in the forefront of your mind, all right? How many books have been written in the world? That even just makes me laugh. How many books have been written in the world? How many cooking books have been written in the world? Like, hello? There are cooking books everywhere. How many cooking books have you bought and are in your kitchen right now that you could reach over and touch? You know, I love cooking books. I would rarely cook anything out of them, but I love looking at them and holding them. And I don't, see a new cooking book and turn away from them. Do you? No, because there's new creations happening all of the time within cooking books, right? So if you have a big aha about a cooking book and you pull back and say, well, you know, that's already been done, or there's too many people doing that, I would be like, pardon? No. You've got to get, my friends, that your energy and the way that you create is such a different way of being, that there are people out there looking for you. You know, you may not invent the computer, but what if you know something about how to use computers that nobody else has ever figured out, right? Or what if the way that you teach draws people in such a way that you have to hire 4 or 5 people just to run your business? You've got to get that bringing something new to the world doesn't mean you're creating a brand new product or service, but the way that you do it may be your unique signature. All right? Again, lining up with your source, lining up with your energetic vibration from that space of joy and excitement will have you rise to the top to be seen. If you've got fear energy behind it, if you've got worry energy behind it, if you are doing any kind of competition, all right, trust me, my friends, that's going to be picked up, and you will vibrate with people. People will choose you oftentimes who are also vibrating from fear and judgment and worry and lack. And do you want those type of customers in your ballpark? Right? Wouldn't it be fun to actually be in joy and have customers who are in joy and looking to connect with you in that way? How amazing. How amazing can you actually be in the world, in your business, so that people that are looking for you, that have never found the true essence of the person they're looking for, can actually find you. There are going to be more and more and more people doing things online. Just like there's more and more authors, there's more and more creators of all different shapes and sizes in all different avenues in the world. And that's okay. There is plenty of business to go around for every single solitary person. There is plenty of customers out there, my friends. There are plenty of people that are looking for you. And I'm not going to do it tonight, but I would often sit with a customer, or with a client rather, and I would look with them at numbers and play with numbers so they can get this out of their head. And what you do is you take the number of people in the world, and then your country, and then your city, and you just start to break this down, and you can see that you can have plenty of customers when you start looking at the numbers. It's so amazing. There's so much going on in the chat room, and I cannot talk and read at the same time. So we're going to go for our last break of the show. I'm going to get caught up with what's happening in there, and we'll come back and we'll wrap tonight's show up. Thank you so much for being here. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Inspired Choices radio show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736 or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, you are listening to myself, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we are talking about now, what do I do with my business? Well, if you didn't decide that everything was going to blow up because there's things changing outside of you and your business, what could you actually start to create and receive? I could do so many shows on receiving, it's not even funny, and maybe that will be a show that we'll do coming up soon. But honestly, you've got to connect in with you. You've got to connect in with your business, and you've got to clear all of the fear and worry and judgment before you start to connect with your business. You cannot receive something that is going to motivate, manifest, and inspire when you are in a very heavy negative energy. So you need to check yourself before you check in on your business, all right? So how many of you out there are actually, have you been enjoying your business? Is your business something that you've been doing because somebody told you should do it? Is it your business something you're doing because it seemed logical at the time? Or is it something that actually lit you up and you've gotten disconnected from your business? That's a really important thing to look at. I'm talking to a number of people who have actually been laid off in the last couple of weeks. And guess what they're saying? You know, this couldn't have come at a better time. I've really been thinking about leaving my job. I've really been thinking about maybe starting my own business. Just really want to start looking at what that would maybe look like and what would be, you know, fun and generative. How cool is that, my friends? How cool is that? There are so many gifts that are coming out of this change in the world that if you would be willing to open up to the possibility that there are gifts here, you could start to receive them. There is nothing more that touches my heart than when I see people come together and to have countries start to come together, to have our whole world come together and to be moving in the same direction for targets and goals, to have us reaching out to help each other. You know, when you see like children are doing little bags of to take to elderly homes and leave them there. When we're seeing people that are going out of their way for their neighbors who, you know, yesterday they may have not even spoken to, right? When we're seeing the changes that are happening in our world and we look for the gifts, they will show up. They will show up. I am absolutely loving the creativity that I'm seeing with my clients, with their businesses. What a gift. I am loving to see people really going within and starting to do some of that so necessary internal work that they have been, you know, delivering excuses after excuses after excuses that they can't do. So my question to you, my friends, is what gifts are you aware of for you and your business right now? That if you would allow those gifts to come through, this time and space could be the change that you've been desiring that you didn't even realize. Think back to the wars, the time of the Second World War. I know my parents, my father was in the Second World War. My mother worked for a company that worked for can't talk right anymore, the country that supported the troops. And out of the war came so many new creations. There was times had changed, right? We've gone from the different ages, right? We've gone from the industrial age. We move through changes. Changes are actually created out of major events in the world. So I wonder if more and more and more of us were to drop our barriers and start to look, just tilt your head like a dog would to the side and go, I wonder what gifts there are here that I'm not yet aware of. Show me the gifts. Talk to your business. Ask your business to show you the gifts. Ask what is possible here that has never been possible before. Would you be willing to contribute to the change that our planet's been asking for? Would you be willing to contribute to the change that perhaps your body's been asking for? Would you be willing to contribute to the change that your bank account's been asking for? Would you be willing to start doing just one thing differently in order to create something new in your life and in your business? You have just as many opportunities today that you had yesterday. You have just as many opportunities as every other person on the planet. But here's the real gift. If you're choosing to be present and you're choosing to be conscious and you're choosing to check in with yourself and you're choosing to check in with your business, you, my friend, are going to be well ahead of the curve, because the big thing that is changing in the world is that people are stepping up into consciousness more now than ever. And the joy and the pleasure that is coming through for them and their lives and the ease. I could talk about that for days. You have an opportunity to make a significant change in the world and to contribute to the future of our world. The people of the future, the children that haven't even been born yet, those people are going to look back and they're going to go, oh my gosh, I am so grateful for the conscious ones, the conscious leaders who stepped up and they chose to do something different, even when everybody said, you should be sad, or you should be worried, or you should be in fear. You shouldn't be giggling and laughing right now. Bullshit. Bullshit, I say. This is some of the things that's going to change our world. We are the creators of tomorrow. We are the conscious leaders. You are required right now. You and your business are being asked to step forward in a new way than you have ever stepped forward. Will you take the challenge? Will you say, oh yeah, baby, this is what I was built for. This is why I came here. This is my time. It is time to dust off my body, to my points of view. It is time to dust off anything in my business and step forward. I am ready for the challenge. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you to everyone, my amazing co-host, or my amazing producer, Rhonda, who co-hosts with me sometimes, the wonderful people in the chat room. All of you are listening. Please share this audio with someone that you know that's struggling. I would be so grateful, because my voice is being channeled. This information is being channeled through me, and I want to contribute. Thank you so much. Remember, no matter what, you can always make another choice. Bye for now, friends.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.